Okay, welcome back. Why a vision is non-negotiable. I like to think there's this biblical proverb that says, without a vision, the people perish. And it's pretty easy to think back probably in your own life. It is in mine. When I have not had a goal or orientation toward a specific objective, it's super easy to be aimless, waste time, and really end up where you don't want to be. And without a direction, you're not really standing still, you're always moving. It's like being in a current. This shows up, think about your life. In the food you eat, the relationships you keep, the exercise you do, the Netflix you watch. Without a plan, it's easy just to go drifting in some direction. I think it's really cool. A vision is like, it gives you blinders like you're a racehorse to focus on a goal with intensity. And it's like, it gives you this ability to say yes and no. It's awesome. And you're gonna love it. The more you stick with one thing you're trying to pursue, the easier it's gonna be to make decisions and say, hey, this is my goals. These are my goals. And I'm working toward achieving them. So, sorry. Or yes, that totally aligns. A great example of this from my own life, I was training to go overseas and I was training physically pretty hard. And I would go to bed at like 8 or 9 o'clock. And people are like, why are you going to bed at 8 or 9 o'clock? Well, I was going to bed because I knew the next morning I had to be up at 3:40 in the morning to go to the gym with the boys. And man, that was tough, okay? That was super tough. But it was the decision. I was like, if I want to show up and perform at a certain level, this is what's required in this season of life. And I knew, because I had that future vision of what I was trying to accomplish, I had to focus and say no to things that I didn't want to do or that I wanted to do, so that the thing that I was really wanting to do would be achieved. My friend Jordan has a great life vision statement, and it basically is like helping people put together the pieces of their life and giving them some direction, helping them find their own direction and where they should go. And this is kind of cool because it gives him a meter on whether to do a thing or not do a thing. If that's your life vision, who do I want to spend my time with? Is it people that I can invest and help in, or that are just going to waste my time and not really care? And that's a really cool metric for learning how to make decisions, is having a life vision like he does. And that's what he did in the GTW Planner, is he helps you break down your vision into daily actions and decision-making processes. A thing with your vision you need to do is have why do I want to accomplish this? Like, what am I specifically pushing for and why? And we'll get to that in a second, get to what I'm pushing for in a second, but the why. This is something I find kind of funny, because a lot of people online are like, what's your why? You need to have this ridiculous reason that's so complicated, or they're like, a lot of times it's like a bunch of like, you need to achieve this because you're a terrible person, you're a piece of garbage. And I just think that's funny, because I've had some of the funniest or randomest whys ever, and I've done some pretty cool stuff. When I was training for my 100-miler, my why was literally because I believed that I could do it. That was it. There was no deep philosophical thing. I was just like, well, humans can run 100 miles. It happens all the time. And I'm going to be one of those humans. It was it was as simple as that. And there were some other reasons too, but when people would ask me, that's what I would tell them. I love Alex Hormozi. He does something funny with this as well. He's like, in one of his clips, he's like, somebody was saying commenting on that he's, super muscular, and how is that functional, and what are you doing with all your muscle? And he goes, the function is to be jacked, is to walk around as a jacked person. That's the function. For me, that's the function why I'm jacked. And I love that, because it's your personal why. You can have whatever reason you want to achieve these things. If you're like, hey, I just want to look hotter, go ahead. That, who cares? That's great. If it's I just wanted to be able to do something random, be able to do backflips or whatever, I'm going to work on this thing because I just think it's sick. That's all you really have to have. It doesn't have to be this clouds open up and you receive a message from above. It can just be I just think this is cool and I want to do it. Yeah, so that's kind of going over your why a little bit. Something that a guy named Zig Ziglar created is kind of like the 7-wheel spoke system for creating a vision for your life. And the way that the GTW planner breaks it down, and the way I suggest you break it down, is coming up with a 10-year vision. So where would I like to be in 10 years? And what am I trying to accomplish? Where do I want to be? And what do I want to have done by the time I got there? So, and then you break it down from 10 to 5 to 1 year vision. Okay, where do I want to be in 1 year based on today? So, and in these 7 spokes that he mentions is, your spirituality, your health and fitness, your family / relationships, your finances, your career, your intellectual growth, and then I always blank on these ones, so I'm checking, I'm cheating. No, we covered them all. Your social. So, yeah, that's all 7, and it's kind of the principle is, okay, you're driving a car, right? And if one of the spokes on the wheel is like way too long, or 2 of them, the car is going to go, and there's going to be problems from the car because there's not smooth driving. And oftentimes in our life, when we're creating, goals and things, we create one goal and we block out everything else. And sometimes for specific seasons, that's super helpful. But when you neglect everything except the one goal, your life is going to have malfunctions. And that's kind of where burnout comes from. That's where, because you've only been focusing on one thing. I found that a ton in my life. I focused on 1 or 2 goals at a time. And then because I wasn't focusing on some of the other ones, it really caused a lot of burnout, a lot of difficulty. And usually they just had to do with just like working, just a lot of work and not a lot of recreation or different things, to the point I had to really rework, what do I like to do anymore? What's fun? Because I'm used to just doing work and trying to achieve one goal, but I'm kind of dying in all the other ones. Adjust your goals to your vision. So the reason you set a vision is so that you have goals to achieve. And if your goals have nothing to do with that, it's not super helpful. So you want them to be pretty helpful. And then the reason why we're creating a vision is it's the idea of sitting down with yourself. What do I want? A plan is I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And I love Mike Tyson's quote. It's everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, and then all of a sudden you don't have a plan. You got to figure it out. You got to be dynamic. A vision is like a dynamic plan. It's saying this is where I kind of want to be. This is where I would like to be in X amount of time, and then I'm going to put things into that to get there. Whereas a plan's the plan is the thing that comes after creating a vision in this frame of thought. Because life is going to throw things at you that you're not going to expect. It's happened to me all the time. It's happened to you in your life all the time. We just expect things are going to happen, and then life changes. And those are no longer an option. And that's something where you got to be dynamic with your vision. And then with this, focusing on achievement can free your mind to make better decisions for your life. It's when I'm focusing on what I really want, it'll really help me make wise decisions. Like I said, with waking up at 3:40 in the morning, or different training plans, or different financial plans. If I'm really stuck in debt right now, going out to eat is a temptation, but it probably shouldn't ever happen. Dave Ramsey talks about that. Have you ever done his stuff? But the idea there is we have to give up something now so that we can get a result. The result is in 5 years, we're out of debt and we have a lovely life that we love, or in 10 or 15 or whatever it's going to take. Until that happens though, spending money, blowing as much money as possible on random things, on lottery tickets and things, I'm just using that as a funny example, probably is not what's best in the plan. And what having this vision does is says, okay, in 5 years, I want to be completely free from debt, okay? I can't do this stuff. I can't go on 6 vacations. I can't do X, Y, Z, whatever it is. And then you're okay, great, now I can build. Now I have the plan. When someone invites me out to dinner and I know it's going to cost $100 for me and my wife to go, You say, in this season of my life, we're not doing that right now. And that's okay. You have to humble yourself enough to realize what you can and can't do and focus on what you're trying to really achieve with your life. So keep that in mind. Okay, action steps to do in this part of the video. Action steps. I want you to audit your priorities, okay? Write a list of like 5 to 10 ideal priorities. Okay, this is what I want to prioritize, right? And then from there, so write a list of your priorities and then write a number on them of where they actually rank in your current priority structure. So I remember doing this like a couple years ago, I think it was about a year and a half ago now. And I'm like, I have a lot of ideal opportunity, like priorities. Like this is okay. What are my priorities? And I wrote them out. And then I would just like, what do I actually prioritize? Like, does my life say that those are my priorities? Or does it say like, yeah, they're not his priorities at all. And that's kind of like a tough sell on that, to be honest, is like, what are actually your priorities? And sometimes that can feel like a big kick in the pants, and that's okay. Okay, that's why we're doing this, is to say, what am I actually prioritizing? What am I actually going for? And yeah, it can be a difficult thing there, but you just gotta go do it. And then notice the gap, and then that's your starting point. Super simple. Step 2, I want you to write out a 10, 5, and 1 year vision plan for the different spokes. So those spokes again are spirituality, health and fitness, family, relationships, finances, career, and intellectual growth and development, your personal development. So write out a vision plan for those. The biggest thing I want you to do though is have a 1 year vision plan. Okay, at least get a 1 year. Where do I want to be in a year? From there, we can work on the other ones as well. And then what we're going to do in following parts of the course is we're going to break down how to accomplish that. Ask yourself the question, what do I want to achieve in this next year? So we read out our vision. Okay, we want to be in these areas. Okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to have done to achieve those things? And then share a post of your community of your audited list. It's kind of vulnerable. It could be embarrassing. That's okay, guys. Share it, get it out there. It's like, you know what? You don't have to be ashamed about it. It's life. It happens. We figure out what we prioritize and then we have to readjust. So don't worry. Just readjust and move forward. And then post a list of your 1 year vision plan. Where do we want to be in a year? After that, I'll see you in the next video.